Sir.
Okay, we are live. Happy Friday, everyone. If you're tuning in live, if you are checking us out on the replay, if you're checking us out on my YouTube channel, happy whatever day it is, because every day is a great day. Every day is a blessed day. So thank you for being here with me today in the huddle. So my guest today is one of the most intriguing and someone who I've gotten to know over the last few years, but is an up and coming mover in the business world and just really has a great, just a great love of life. So my guest in the huddle today is Justin Georgopoulos. How are you, brother?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no, again, love. I feel like this conversation's been a year in the making, a couple of years in the making, probably.
Oh yeah, it's a continuation of all the calls we've had and morning chats that you've reached out to me, and it's helped me along the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, if you're tuning into the huddle for the first time, the huddle is where I sit down with successful people from the world of sport, coaching, and the whole intention is just to learn more about their journey to greatness, because success always leaves clues. Okay, success is not an accident. It's not by luck. It's just not, some people aren't blessed to have certain things. It's just, there's a reason. And it's about really diving into what makes these people a high performer. Okay, so again, go all in. I know Justin knows that saying from back in the day, Team Ontario football days, but really listen to the conversation, right? And really listen to what Justin has to share. Listen to what we talk about and take a nugget of information, take some nuggets of information so that you can achieve your next level of greatness. So let's kick off, Justin.
Yeah.
What I would love to, I'm going to pivot here a little bit. What is something that most people don't know about you that you would feel comfortable sharing with our audience?
Yeah, so something most people don't know. For a big period of my life, loved writing poetry, making music. That's like kind of like almost my hidden art. Always have songs rehearsing in my head or things here and there. Getting more busy with business, that's taking less of a toll. But like grade 3 was rapping in front of the school. So always had a love for music, and that's something that not a lot of people know. Most of my close friends know that.
Okay. So it sounds like you've always kind of had this creative muscle.
Yes, I love playing with words, and the deeper I got into writing and speaking things, I started seeing actual things happening in my life that were really reflective on what I was writing. So just understanding the power in the written word, and that allowed me to kind of alter the things I was creating, and I started to see it shift into my real life.
Love that. I love the creative, right? That is something that every high performer, right, it taps into. So I'm curious, I put you on the spot here. Do you remember how we met? I'm curious. I always love trying to go back there. Do you remember how we met?
Well, right away, I'm thinking Junior Mustangs.
Yeah.
And but for some reason, maybe there's a time before we met.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's Junior Mustangs.
Yeah. So this is how Justin and I met. So back in the day, I used to coach London Junior Mustangs, which is the provincial football league here in Ontario. And Justin was one of our athletes. And the first message I ever got from him, and this is back in 2015, is, "Hey coach, great to meet you. Do you mind?" And he shared with me a clip of him in his back pedal at Powerhouse Gym. And you were saying, "Hey coach, do you mind looking at this? Can you tell me what's one thing I can do to be more efficient in my back pedal to transition to sort of that brake, balance, and drive phase?" And I remember sitting in my living room and at the time going, this guy's a little different in a good way, right? Like there's not many young athletes that or athletes in general, that the first thing is, how can I get better? Like asking that question. So that was our first interaction. And from that, I knew that you thought differently, and your desire to grow and be the best version of yourself was a little bit different than anyone else.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously, like, you were the one I reached out to for that. So
Uh,
you're also reflecting something that drew me to get your guidance.
yeah, no, I love that. So let's dive into sports. So obviously we connected through sport. What role has sport, physical activity, what role has that played in your life?
Oh, football, especially, camaraderie. And now I'm really realizing the power that has, like, having all this distancing and lockdowns, like, just having a group of guys, like, and I think it is, especially for, like, I could only speak for men, like, having a group of guys that you can relate to and you can struggle with and have breakthroughs with. Because being on the football team, like, we had some great years at the beginning, but then we were like 0-7, like, losing games, but the guys were still showing up to practice, and there was those solid group of guys that, like, I could still message any one of them and be able to just pick up from where we left off. And it was those guys with that heart that really made me realize, like, team sports and probably the military and all these group events are just really, really good for the psyche and for growing up around other guys. And so that played a huge role. And then also the practicing, the watching the film, the critiquing yourself. Even if you win, you still got tons of work to do. All these things of nitpicking little, like I said, I messaged you about technique, like how my foot was planted, like just looking at the little things, because if once you get the technique down and whatever you're doing, it's just a system from then on.
So what I'm hearing from you, and anyone that's played sports knows that, right? And yeah, we're talking about football and we're talking about, but it's like that brotherhood, or, again, that sisterhood of just getting around like-minded, ambitious, driven, open-minded people. They're just working towards a common purpose.
100%.
Yeah. The one thing I also love that you talked about was preparation. That's what I really heard from you, right? Like that preparation. So I'm curious, how has preparation played a role in your life as you've transitioned away from sport into the business world?
Yeah, awesome. So this year I took the plunge and took ownership of a franchise in London for Student Works Painting. Mm-hmm. And they have a system laid out, way to get leads, way to market, do estimates, book jobs for the spring and summer. And right away I decided I'm going to break the rookie record, wrote it down. I'm going to beat this Canadian record. I'm going to just beat it by a long shot, had a number written down that I wanted to do. And obviously with that comes tons of preparation. I can't just expect it because I wrote it down. I have to actually follow it with action. So what I did was, are you frozen there?
Nope.
Froze a bit. So hopefully if I'm still going, I'm just going to keep talking. But what I did was marketed and put in so much input in the preseason in terms of knocking on tons of doors, calling a lot of clients, doubling the input of what I should be doing even to hit my goal. And that way I was just very, very prepared for when production season comes, when other things start coming into the business.
Okay.
Am I frozen still, or?
Sorry about that, Justin. Some technical ones.
Hey, all good. So
yeah,
basically what I was saying is, so for preparation in terms of transitioning to the business world, set that goal to beat that record. Mm-hmm. Obviously that has to be followed by tons of input. So I broke down me and Joe Kim. Joe Kim is he's a district manager, so he helps me in terms of my development through the business. So we broke down exactly what I needed to do, how many doors I needed to knock on in order to get that goal. So it's like going door to door, booking estimates for painting. What I saw is a map of how to get exactly what I wanted. So I decided I'm going to double the input that I should be putting in. Therefore, it will any errors or any type of things that come along the way, I'm prepared for those. So I have double the input in, I have some leeway and some space for wiggle room. So put in tons of work in the preseason with a great group of guys, built a solid team, knocked on tons of doors. Got, I think one of the weeks we got probably the most leads in history because we just got so many leads. People are home too during the pandemic. Obviously we're spaced out and safe and knocking on doors, standing back, but tons of people wanted work done in their homes. So put in a lot of effort, and then seeing that pay off now, I have to do less sales calls. I can really focus on producing the jobs because I just kind of overbooked, and now I'm overproducing. So instead of following it to a T, I just really prepared strong.
So many valuable pieces of information there. I feel like I could sort of just dissect what you just said there. We could break that into like a whole hour. But the first thing I really heard from you was around the power of I am statements, right? Like you said, I am going to do it. Not I hope, not I wish, I am. And there's power in that. And then what I really loved is how the verbiage you use, and you can tell that athlete mindset, right? And again, you can, like, you've competed at a high level. You have competed, you were not only great in terms of in the city, but you were a provincial football player, right? You went to university and competed as an athlete as well in a different sport, which is so cool. And I love the preparation piece, right? So is that ability to prepare, is that something that you've just always known, you've always done? Or is that just something you've learned, over the course of your life? Yeah,
so that's definitely something I've learned. And I'm still growing in terms of my preparation, always improving, because that's one of my weakest points in the past was being prepared, being organized. I usually just kind of like winged it and kind of went as I go, and like have faith in the process and kind of just dove in. And matching that aspect of just diving in with also preparing and putting in the work in the off hours, totally, it's just way less stress. You have way more confidence in your ability. So that's something I've definitely worked on this year and didn't really have that before. And it's just because my desire for this goal is so strong that I'm just becoming who I need to become in the process. And it's almost like I don't have a choice. Like I just have to be prepared. So it's just, for me, it feels like almost like do or die. It's just, I'm putting everything into it. So I'm not going to slack on things that I can control.
What I want everyone to do is to listen to the words Justin is using, right? These are power words. Again, he's not talking about he hopes or he wishes, right? It's not even I want. He talked about desire, right? And desire is something that comes deep here, subconscious mind. And that desire is what moves your ass into action.
100%.
So I'm curious, in terms of action, when did the switch flip for you? So like you said before, an area of growth was, hey, I've known you for a few years. You're like me, you're a dreamer. Like you've had a big vision for things. When did that switch flip for you where you started to like, no, baby, it's about preparation. It's about taking focused, productive and effective action?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do like something big with my life. And as we all do, like we see people on social media just absolutely crushing it. And we see the cars we want to drive and all these different lures. And I still was pairing that semi desire with also like just laziness. And I think almost like feeling like I deserve it. So that led me to just dream and not really back it up with anything, not have a solid plan in place, and just hope and wish and think, and which is awesome because it still brought me to where I am. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I wouldn't change a thing in the world. But now I've had such a long period of questioning my purpose, questioning what I want to do with my life, questioning, led me to really work on my development of just my character and kind of forgetting about the outside world, just working on the inside. So as soon as I see an opportunity, I've sharpened my sword to just cut at that tree. So I see the opportunity now, and it came through a sequence of synchronicities. So that's when I knew this is it. I got to put everything that I've been kind of working on in the background while I was debating on what to do, and then I'm just going to go all into this opportunity. I've never really went all in. I've always been slivering my potential in different avenues, which also I'm not complaining about, because that's great. It allowed me to try different areas out, and I'm still going to definitely try different areas out as I get older. But then now when I narrowed it in, and by reading these books about just that one thing, doing it to your best ability, totally changed everything. So yeah, I honestly forget the question, but I feel like I did answer it in there.
Yeah. You know, what came up for me as you were talking is this switch sort of happened where you went from being busy, right? And that's a problem that a lot of people face, right? Is that shiny object syndrome, right?
Mhm.
And again, how do I know that? Because, hey, it's happened to me before too. And that's where we get busy, right? Where I liken it to, you know, it's like when you get that one ball spinning, and then most people where they get stuck is they try to get a second ball spinning, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and then all of a sudden their energy is so divided because it's just, there's 5 things they're going.
Mhm.
But like you said, hey, I'm going all in on this one thing. I'm going all in on my 519 painting, right? Painting business, and we're going to get after it.
Mhm.
Right? What have you noticed as you've like gone all in, as you've quote unquote, we've talked about burn the boats, right?
Yeah.
What have you noticed as that has happened?
Yeah, when you burn the boats and there's just no going back, you tell tons of people about your goal, you write it down. I have it on my ceiling. I wake up, I look at it, like there's just no going back. So once you have that, something primitive kicks in. You're like, this is, you know, our time on this earth is going to be so limited anyway, and what's going on now in the world is so confusing, and who knows what's really happening. So this is a great time to just go make something, go make some money, go make some great relationships. Just like it's actually very motivating to me to see where the world is at, and it's pushing me to really believe this is a do or die for my family, for generations to come. Like so for me, that really kicked me into drive. And then also reading about Bob Proctor, you know, he's had I think he did a cleaning company for a bit, and he wrote down a card that he would sell a certain amount and produce. And when I was first approached by Student Works to run a franchise, I thought painting was just, it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't, you know, what everyone's posting on Instagram. It was just, it's painting. Like, that's old school. And so I denied the opportunity, and then it came back in my life, and I had a whole different perspective on this is just a vehicle for my potential. And like you said, when you go all in on something, another thing I notice is you attract the right everything. Like, if you have a goal and you actually just follow it, even if you don't see the pieces laying together, they could all just be 1 second away from clicking, and you just got to keep believing in it. And people come in your life, a horrible accident will happen that is actually for you, and it's just crazy how it all works. Obviously, you need to back it up with input, but it's unexplainable the way that when you go all in, things will line up.
I'm blown away because I've seen this growth and evolution of you and your growth, and just seeing you create success in different avenues. But what I love about what you talked about is this idea of opportunity, like being open. And what can get a lot of people stuck is so close to, you know, this is the way we've always done it. I don't want to hear new ideas. I don't want to be around new people. I don't want to even explore a potential new job. But it's interesting how when you open your mind, right? And again, mind more than brain, opportunities, like you said, flow to you, right? They just come, you just meet different people. Yeah. So I'm curious, how has that idea of being open to opportunity, how has that impacted your life?
Yeah, I feel I feel just very brave to take on new challenges, because I have so much trust in the process. In either way, even if it fails, it's such a big learning opportunity. So I've taken on some jobs out of the city with new painters and putting on a production manager and just saying, hey guys, this is the work that needs to be done. Like, I trust you guys to make it happen. And they made it happen. The client's super happy. They did an excellent job. And that took a lot of faith with me, because that's not something you typically do in this business when you're beginning to send people out of the city. You're not there to manage. And but by doing that, it allowed me to really strengthen that muscle of just taking more risks. And that's the only way you can strengthen muscle is by lifting it. So it's just, you have to start somewhere and you have to do it, or else you're just going to be thinking about it all the time.
I love that. The thinking about it, right? I have to think about it.
Yeah.
I one thing that you came up that I've heard a couple times in the last few minutes is this idea of trust,
Oh,
right? Like trusting the process. And that's something that we talk about that sport, right? Like we talk about process, we talk about trust. But I'm curious, how has your ideas about process, about trust, how have they shifted in this as you've grown yourself?
mhm. Yeah, like I'm a religious man, so I trust in God. It's not even really trust in myself.
Mm,
It's trust in myself to do what I can control, but everything else I leave up to a higher power, and I really do believe that. And I was raised through that, and I've seen the evidence in terms of through my life and my family's life that it's just when I can't control something, I just let go and I do my best. There's obviously times we're going to be stressed out about things we can't control, but um, through that faith, I'm attracting people that also have faith, and that's I think that's the most powerful thing is the faith, because if you don't have faith, the input's going to be, you're not really going to trust your input to put in. You're thinking, is this even worth it? But if you have faith, like regardless, this is going to happen. I just don't know how it's going to turn out. Or I know how it's going to turn. I don't know how exactly I'm going to get there.
mm,
Um, Again, it's just having the faith in the people that are coming into my life is just absolutely incredible. Like shout out to Reese, shout out to Isaiah, shout out to Zach, shout out to Mika, like all these guys that have come in and put their input in the business. And if we've seen a common goal, yeah, I couldn't have done it without having faith, because I probably would have stopped, a couple months in thinking, why am I knocking on doors in January? What is this going to be?
mm. It's interesting. What really came up for me, and I love how you do talk about faith. And to let everyone know, I have had an interesting relationship with my faith. It was one that I resisted a lot growing up to, and just to give everyone some context, like my mom, very involved in the church, taught Sunday school like that. And I resisted it for so long, like that polar opposite. And it's been interesting that as I've connected back to my faith, and again, whatever you believe in, right? Whether it's God, source, universe, infinite intelligence, whatever, but believing in something greater than you, that you're just a messenger of showing people what's possible. Just that one idea has transformed my life, right? It's just understanding that's not me. I'm just a vehicle to share a greater message.
Yeah. 100%. And then everything's a vehicle now. Like your business is a vehicle for yourself, as a vehicle for yourself, as a vehicle of God or universe, whatever. It's like we're just passing on energy, and it's like, what energy do you want to pass on? Yeah, I love that. Like regardless of what faith it is, it's just the faith and understanding that I feel totally washed over. I feel protected. I feel amazing having this faith.
Yeah. No. Again, great conversation. One thing that came up that you were mentioning, and just to give everyone some context, Justin is getting after it, right? He's leading a team as he might not have said. I can't remember if we talked about it. I mean, he's setting records in his first year as in this leadership in not only just the city, but like national records for student work, which has been around for a little bit, we'll just say. What have you learned about yourself in transitioning? Because the results you're getting are a direct reflection, right? It's the effect is because how you're shifting as a leader. Yeah. So how is your leadership transitioning from where you were to now? Like, how has it changed your leadership?
My leadership has changed from management to coaching. And I say that as, instead of being like micromanager, like, oh, don't you do this, this is how you hold the paintbrush, this. It's now like, here's a project, like you're the captain of the project. Like we're all a team here. Let's get it done. Like we're working together now. This is not me telling you what to do, because that's not going to work for so long. I can't be like 6 places at once or 7 places at once. So it's been more of again, trusting, the word trusting, but trusting the crew, and also just leading myself first and foremost. So a way like getting up when I say I'm going to wake up, doing my best to stay in integrity, like with my word, and that's always something I can always improve on. But making sure that I'm following the same things I'm saying to them, and if I expect them to be in integrity with me and show up on time on the job site, I have to be there early. I should be there before them. That's the type of leadership I believe in, is just through example. Like, I know when I worked as a butcher at a butcher shop, he barely told me how to cut meat. He barely told me how to do this and do this, but I just watched him. I just shared his presence, and that helped me the most. So I think by doing that is the best leadership style.
Again, folks, I want you to take some of these ideas, right, that Justin's talking about. He's talking about leading yourself first. It's got to start within. Like, that's when you're the most effective. And the other simple idea that I love you talked about was the idea of follow through. Like, right, one of the common ideas is, oh, you have to practice what you preach. What about this? What about preaching what you actually freaking practice? And because people can feel it, right? And this is where this fake it or make it bullshit doesn't work, right? Like, people can smell if you're like in alignment, if you're in integrity, if your character, as your word was saying. But Justin does the work first. And because his crew sees, hey, Justin's the first one on the site, he's the last one to leave, that's a guy I'm going to follow because he's leading by example.
100%. And then motivating people to do that. And then as soon as I see them being early and then giving them more responsibility and allowing them to lead by example, and then I can step out now and do it again. And then having, and it especially comes with giving people responsibility. We all want, like, well, the people that I've come in contact with in my team that I've recruited, they all want responsibility. They want to take on challenges. That's what, like, especially being out of work with COVID, like the purpose is lower. So now it's like, work is such a huge, it is your purpose in a sense when you do have a new job. So here, let's build upon your purpose. Let's make this your thing this summer. Like, you take care of this aspect of the business and enrolling people. And then that way they want to take on leadership. And now, yeah, so that's what I've learned.
Okay. So it sounds like you've put a big emphasis on empowering people, right? To like step into their own leadership roles.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you do, right? Because I'll be the first to say, like, I've been around other young, ambitious, driven, open-minded leaders like yourself. They understand this one concept. Is there anything that you do to really empower your leaders so that they help, so they sort of buy into your vision of what you're building as a team?
Yeah, like, I find out what their goals are and like what really like does make them tick. So to some guys, it's they want to make more money this summer. Okay, awesome. Let's find a role that, you know, you're gonna take on more responsibility and help me out in this area, and that the money will definitely come. There's some guys that want experience in marketing or want experience in other areas. Maybe they want to build more confidence. Maybe they have social anxiety. Okay, you're the door-to-door marketing manager. You're gonna go to people's doors, obviously spaced out during a pandemic. If that doesn't build your social anxiety, then I don't know what will. And so finding different areas and then motivating them through that way, and then they see, okay, like, this is my time. Like, this is meant to be. And really enrolling that is like, we're all here for a reason.
Again, so good, Justin. I love what you talked about. Folks, listen to what Justin's saying. Find out what people want. You tap into their subconscious mind, their emotional heart. It's what the early Greeks referred to, right? As it's not this heart. When we think about heart, we think about physical heart. But I'm talking about that emotional, and everyone wants something. Like Justin said, maybe some people want more money. Some want to get more marketing experience there. So what do you do then, Justin, when you find out what people want? I guess here's a question. Let's break things down, because sometimes I take for granted that, you know, it's common sense isn't always common. How do you actually find out what people want?
Even today, I went up to a guy, he showed up, he was early. I saw he was doing an excellent job on the job site. I barely had to be there. I said, hey, like, what do you want from this business? How can I help you? Because you're doing an excellent job. What do you want? He's like, I would love to, like, you know, manage a couple crews. I would love to kind of be more of a management role, obviously paint when I can, but just oversee a few job sites. I'm like, perfect. That's where I see you also. Let's make it happen. I didn't have to talk about how much he's compensated. I didn't have to try to get him to be there. I didn't have to say, hey man, you know, can you do this? You can make that. No, it's like, this is what do you want? I want this. Maybe what do you want? Hey, I just want to paint this year. I want to have my headphones in. I want to just work. I want to clock out at 5. I want to have that. I don't want the more responsibilities. I don't want to feel like work's going on all week. Okay, that's what you're going to get. And you're going to be the best campaigner we have. Just asking. And it's the same thing with clients too. With anyone, it's like people, what I'm realizing is people appreciate straightforwardness, because our culture, especially in Canada, we're so polite that sometimes we just don't really know how to ask, or like we're all kind of walking on eggshells. It's like, hey, what do you want? Or, hey, this isn't going to work. Or, hey, like just straight up and be a straight shooter. And that's been a huge help, and people respect that. It's meant to have some difficult conversations, but just asking what they want.
Not rocket science, is it?
And sometimes they might not know what sometimes the people know maybe what they want, and then you might see or think you see what they need, and you can obviously point that out too. You know, hey, I think before you take on this role, it seems like you need to work on some communication skills. Like, you know, you're like a couple hours late to text me here and there. Like, let's build that first before we get this role, and then now we can match what you need with what you want, and we can make it happen. So giving your input in too, but just literally asking and observing.
You know what's so great about this is, and folks, I want to share something about, you know, Justin's ambitious, but he's also humble. And I remember you asked me a question. Who knows where time has gone? But I remember you asking me. We had a conversation, the effective leader, and we were talking about, you know what the effective leader does? They find out what people want. And Justin says, ask questions, talk to people. And two, he shows them how to get there, how he can help get them there faster. And simply doing that, that's how you set records in any area of life, whether it's, you know, doubling the business and doubling business, whether it's becoming a great coach, whether it's becoming a great parent, right? Becoming the best employee you can be. Find out what people want, show them how you can help get them there. That's it.
And 100%. And it goes vice versa. I've had one guy that his painting skills definitely need work, and he knows that. So he says, like, how else can I help you in the business? He's like, I know I need to work on the painting aspect, and that's something I'll definitely improve on. How can I help you? He's asking me what I want. And I'm like, awesome. Like, I do need a lot more help on this marketing side. Like, I'm really busy with production now. Can you make sure some guys are going out, still knocking on doors and making calls on the weekend? Of course, I'll do whatever you need me. And so whether you're the employee or the boss or whatever role you have, everyone's going to want something, and you can definitely fill, even if it's like outside of work or a coffee in the morning. Like, someone's going to want something, and when you give someone what they want, it's like a whole different energy. They see you differently. They're going to trust you more because you're just being genuine.
And we've had great conversations about that. It's the law of cause and effect, right? It's like when you plant great seeds, you get a great harvest. When you put out good, the good comes back to you. And it's not why we do it, but it's a simple law. Like, it's just going to happen. It's like the sun's going to rise in the morning. That it just happens. Mm-hmm. Okay. So again, so many good things, Justin. I love this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
So what's the plan moving forward? Like I said, you're doing well. You know, you're obviously thriving in different areas, all areas of your life. You know, what's sort of next for you in this journey over the next, 6 months, next year? I don't know.
Yeah. So for the rest of the year, I still got goals to set. We broke the record. We broke it very, very early, which is awesome. The record that the number that I had on written down in a firm, we will be hitting that likely this week or next week in terms of sales produced. And then, so now upping the goal. I think it's good to set, like, the goals that we set, we weren't even able to put it on the system on the computer for the business because they just didn't even let us set that as a rookie. So it's awesome. We're lifting the ceiling on the business, and then seeing the other business owners in my same position as a first year, literally trailing right behind me, like doing crazy numbers too. Like the whole franchise is doing awesome. And it's because the leadership in the business, like Student Works, if anyone's hearing this and they're around my age, 18 to 25, like, reach out to me of how you can get involved, learn real business skills by actually running a business, getting coached through that, having no ceiling on what you can do. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you don't know what you want to do maybe in your future and you're looking for somewhere to put your input in and see results, reach out to me. I'll definitely connect you with Student Works. And then to go into your question, what's next? What's next is really learning now about effective leadership and taking less of responsibility on myself and then delegating, empowering more and more to a point where I can actually have a little bit of free time. And likely my free time will be spent improving another aspect of my life as we all will, or even hanging with friends and family, like all that, just doing something positive, walking in nature. Right now I'm grind, go. And with that does come, well, I guess I've allowed it to take away of some other aspects of my life. Like again, working out, that I haven't been working out as much, definitely looking to improve that. And I've made a commitment to get up at 5 every weekday and get in a workout before I start work. So with the next 6 months, I see myself getting in way better shape. I see myself delegating more, launching more crews, selling more work, and just having a great summer. Hopefully COVID's, fading away and we can have some group meetups and go paintballing and have great company events. But yeah, the next 6 months, just really sticking with the business, building it, and then hopefully having a little vacation, going somewhere, Jamaica or something with some friends at the end. And then next year, do it again.
Oh, so good. So good. I just love this vision because you painted such a beautiful idea. I felt like I was there with you, right? And that's something every successful, highly effective person has, right? They have vision for their life. They can see beyond their current results, their current circumstances and conditions. One thing I'll share with you that I know you love because you mentioned Bob. One thing he said recently was, hey, if you're going to doubt anything, doubt your limits. And I remember he said that and I was like, at first, you hear it, but then I'm like, I like that, right? Like, right? Why doubt? Why put limit? Like, just think of that story you said. The program couldn't even fathom that there was a first year that could do that. But you're like, no, I don't doubt. Right? I'm going to doubt the limit. So I'm going to create a new, like you literally created a new model of what's possible in StudentWorks. Okay. So I'm curious, you mentioned Joe earlier, and again, Joe and I go back to, right? Joe was a former student, right? That him and I go way back. What role has coaching and mentorship played in your life?
So I've had so many coaches in my life. I'm going to start with Joe and dive into just a couple things that I've learned from Joe. Accountability is huge. It's reading about masculinity and growing into your masculine. A lot of it's how you take criticism from other men. And earlier version of me might have gotten defensive by getting, hey, someone poking at a weak spot of mine or someone calling me out for something. I might have got defensive, try to make a reason. But I've put my guard down with Joe, especially because I understand now that the way I can take his criticism is just going to help me get better. So the other day I told him I'd call him, and then I got busy, didn't call him back when I said I would. Next day he called me, he said, hey, like, we need to restore your integrity because you didn't call me. It's like, it's not a moral thing. You don't have to say sorry. You don't have to feel bad, but it's just what works because you're going to see this reflect in your business. You're going to see this reflect in your personal life. So we need to restore your integrity. So by restoring your integrity, and this is a StudentWorks thing as well, is saying what you said you would do and what you didn't do. Like maybe, hey, let's say if I was late to this call, JT, I'd say, hey, I was late for this call. The impact of this is that being late will reflect in other areas of my life. What I'm going to do different is by setting like 3 reminders 10 minutes ahead of time. So that's a huge thing I've learned from Joe. Another thing is when you say you're going to do something, just do it right away. Oh, hey, I'm going to send you this address. Meet me here in an hour. Don't wait till it's 45 minutes later and send it. Just bring it out. Boom, send it. Done. Out of the way. Don't procrastinate. So that's another thing Joe's taught me a lot. He's always laughing. Instead of saying but, he says and. Huge. There's little things like that. Just being around Joe, huge help. He's my age, and I see him like a big bro. I also see him as just like my age too. Like we hang out. But high respect for Joe. He's one of the most integrous, if that's even a word, integrous men I know. Then going on to other coaches, you yourself, I remember reaching out to you when I was just figuring out what goals. I was going to run a dog food business. I did it for a bit. I was telling you about what numbers I want to hit, what I want to do. You were all on board. Like, you can definitely do this. Like, you had full faith in me, and you weren't selling me BS. You're just literally like understanding that you can do anything you want. So you were just giving me that faith, that reassurance, calling me in the morning, checking in on me, like just as a good person. And your guidance has been absolutely incredible. I reach out to you whenever I have something, and you reach out to me and check in. And that's, not everyone has a lot of people checking in on them. That's outside of their family or outside of maybe their friend group. Another coach I've had is Drew Edgerton, Lucas Hammers, way back when I was playing like Tyke and LMFA football. He passed away, but he was someone, if my ride was late, he'd be there after practice. I'd be in his car, we'd listen to music. He was a big, jolly man, literally looked like Santa with his big gray beard, always happy, always just so humble and compassionate. And then having other coaches that were hard asses and didn't take any BS from me. And there's all these different influences. My dad, like amazing with people, amazing with business, and also like understanding what people want and giving them what they want. My mom, like just tons. My brothers, like I could go on forever. There's no such thing as self-made. Like we're who we hang around. We're who we choose to listen to on YouTube and music. And so all different areas of my life, I see everything as a coach in some way. Even nature is a huge coach. I look at the way mushrooms grow out of dead stumps. Like this tree's dead, but there's the mushroom creating another ecosystem. Like that is something turning shit into gold. Like there's just everything's, you can learn from everything.
Again, so many valuable. I love that you're acknowledging all the people in your life that have helped you along the way. And you know what really came up as you were talking about is that is something that a lot of males struggle with. And I come from a place where I get it, right? Like that was something that I struggled with before going on this journey is that it's sometimes challenging, especially for males to ask for help, right? Because we take pride in figuring it out by yourself. But I love that there's no such thing as a self-made man. Like, listen to what Justin's saying, how all the people that help him, the amount of people that helped me in my life, right? And it's really understanding that when someone is trying to help you, there's two ways, right? One, they may be the real effective leaders know when to give you a hug, but they also know when to give you a kick in the ass. And you need to be confident in yourself to realize that they just see something in you that you don't see in yourself, right? Like, and that's what the effective leader does, right? It just sees the highest version of you, for better lack of a term. So I want to be respectful of your time, Justin, just because I know that you're getting after it today, especially on a Friday before a long weekend. What I would love to know is, you know, it's an interesting time, and depending when people are watching this, whether they're watching it live, whether they're watching a year from now, you know, this last year has been very interesting for a lot of people. There are people that a lot of people are challenged or struggled. What is one piece of advice you would have for someone? Maybe they've, you know, their health is, you know, sort of all over the map. Maybe they've put on weight. Maybe their relationship, they've had a relationship breakdown. Maybe their finances are just out of whack. Maybe they've lost their job. Maybe life is just, again, a lot of hits. What is that one piece of advice that they could take today so they can get up, so they can take an action, so they can just start creating some positive momentum in their life?
That's it, the positive momentum. Like you could see yourself at the bottom of the hill looking at a huge hill to go up and climb, and it's just so far away that you don't even think it's even necessary. You don't even think it's worth it taking the first step. Or you could see yourself at the top of the hill, and all you need is a little tiny push to build momentum, and you're going to be flying down the hill. So it's like, where are you going to place yourself in your own mind? Are you going to be at the bottom of the hill because you haven't started, or are you going to be at the top of the hill just getting ready to start? So I'd say just start today. Like do 10 push-ups, go for a walk, listen to audiobook. It doesn't have to be a marathon today. It could be a long-term marathon starting today, but it's the same with me. Today I started that commitment, 5 a.m. wake up, but I didn't do the craziest, hardest workout, and I'm going to build up to it. So again, I don't want to do the craziest, hardest workout and be like, oh my God, I don't want to do that tomorrow. So don't worry about going full force right away today. Start today. Just start. Do something simple. Eat something healthier. Eat less today. Drink more water today. Whatever it is, just start today. Forget about the past. The past is gone. Don't compare yourself to wherever other people are at. Like understand that this is your life, and the only person that's going to change it is you if you start today. And today is the only time you could start. Start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You could have wished you started yesterday. Now you're going to live wishing. It's like start today. Super simple and super easy. And you could literally, after you listen to this, like do 10 sit-ups and you'll just feel a little bit better. And that might cause you to rethink that chocolate bar you're going to eat later. whatever it's going to be, it just has a little bit of momentum there. And another thing is do some research and really do your best to think for yourself. It's so easy to follow all what the news is saying and what people are posting and saying, and just, don't feel like obligated to follow the narrative in whatever sense. Do what your intuition, your heart's telling you to do. And sometimes it's confusing it with, all the news and everything going on, but just trust that God or what higher source will guide you and with your decisions you make, and just do your research and stay strong and build good relationships and stay healthy and go outside, enjoy the sunshine and drink water. And
yeah, I love it. Just the simplicity, right? And it's that KISS principle, right? And keep it simple. Just do it today. Just start. Yeah. So Justin, first and foremost, I wanted to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge you for choosing to craft your own path in life, for crafting your character and choosing to be so open to possibility that you are the creator of your life. So I really want to acknowledge you for that, brother. It's inspiring.
Thank you. I feel so empowered. Every time I end a call with you, I just always feel like, wow, I'm crushing it, or like I feel really good.
Yeah.
And that's your power too. Like, regardless of where I'm at, I have always felt more energized after talking to you. So thank you.
Yeah, no worry. Hey, the power of environment, right? The power of environment. So lastly, how can the Thinking into Greatness, how can we help you? How can we support you? How can we be of service to you?
Yeah, if you find any guys or girls around my age that are looking to start their own business or want to learn more about business, send them to me. You can find me on Instagram, just justin.georgopoulos. Facebook, you'll see my link there. Email justin@justingeo.com. Just reach out if you know anyone that's looking to build their leadership roles, because I think student works is a huge opportunity. I could definitely get you connected. If you're looking for work this summer, you want to paint, you want to market, you want to take some roles in this business. It's building, it's going bigger and bigger. We're always looking for students or anyone in between the age of like 17 up to 27, like anywhere in that area you want to help out, would love to have you on. You can put on the resume you're part of record breaking business. There's just tons of room for growth. And also just to what else do I want from you guys? Just continue what you're doing and keep sharing amazing content and board more people, bring more people on into the community.
So again, we'll share all of Justin's handles on social. I'll share it in the description. For those maybe that are feeling stuck, I also posted a link there for my free PDFs, 7 questions to start getting unstuck. For those that, again, maybe that's the action you need to take, right? It's just, boom, challenge yourself to think differently. Other than that, brother, hey, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on today. I am enthused to see how the journey continues to unfold, and I'm so grateful to continue to be a part of your life, brother.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you part of my life. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to see what feedback we get and hopefully some DMs. I really want to network with more people.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Okay. Well, you have an amazing Friday. Have an amazing long weekend, and we'll chat really soon.
Awesome. You too. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.